Hey, hey, Poodle fam. Here we go. Weekly Wednesday therapy session. Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. How about this last week? So I will say it's going. The chat's already rolling. Welcome, new whales. We love the big dollars coming into the project. Big things happening on the project. Be not surprised by it, everybody, because we're going to see this a lot. We're going to see a lot coming in. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm going to say a very Merry Christmas to everyone. Christmas week for those who celebrate. I don't know if you can really make it out. I got red and green lights that are changing behind me, but maybe because of the white lights, it's not all coming through. Let's see if we can change that. Can we change that? We can change that. We can do that. And then I've got, of course, my red and green, the red solo cup with the green margarita. So, you're staying festive for everybody, because that's what we do here on this show. We stay festive. I'm just totally into this week of what's been going on in this token, everyone. We know last week we introduced as if I have anything to do about it, is we as a token introduced the POODLCADemy. How awesome has this last week been? What's cool is seeing a lot of new holders find the token through the POODLCADemy. While we definitely want everybody who's in the main chat to also jump in, learn, contribute, and really help out the new holders. It really has its value in being an educational space. I've loved seeing, maybe because I work in higher ed, and so we are, I'm aimed toward, loving to educate people. I love being where we have a token which believes in making the community stronger and knowledgeable. I talked about this last week, right? How many other tokens really do that? It's one thing to say, come by, we're going to moon, we're going to do all these things, right? But it's another to say, not only are you investing in something that will have value, but we're going to make you a better crypto investor. We're going to let you understand the investment you hold. That's huge. And I don't think that we should let that pass by. We have a lot coming down the roadmap, but with, the app and the AR and obviously the Academy, a lot of other things in the works. There's something that I'm working on, and I'm not even going to break it yet. I can't break it yet. Thankfully, I haven't had too many margaritas, but I'm going to do a tease, and I'm going to tell you this is going to be huge. And so there's a lot coming down. How's that for a tease? I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to stop talking about it, but it's going to be big. Margie time. And this is the time we've been waiting for. When I started this POODLCAST on May 31st, we had gone into the new transition, our version 2, which it seems like an eternity ago. And we've been talking about, here's what's coming, here's what's working, here's what the dev and Moose and Sasha and everybody and all of those who are out there doing the shilling and just building up the purpose. It's time. It's time, everybody. We've been holding on. We knew that it was going to take a few days to start seeing the Academy kind of take off. It's no surprise that the dollars that we're starting to see being invested are timed with all of this stuff. We've had a lot of people, a lot of eyes on this. There have been some big eyes on this project lately, okay? And that's good. And here's the thing. The reason there's big eyes is because we're doing big things. And we're doing big things. And let's put this, and this is going to tie into the theme of this week's show. We're not doing big things because we just want to pump this up and have no substance. We're doing big things because the team behind this believes in the blockchain. We believe in the power of cryptocurrency. We believe the direction the world is going in. We believe in those things, the metaverses and augmented reality, and all of these things that we are seeing the direction technology move in. And so rather than trying to tell everybody that, hey, we're here and we're going to be the next big thing. We believe that we're going to be big, but it's not about, did you miss this and now get this, and you missed this, now get this, and what's the next coin? This is about actually creating a brand with purpose and I don't even like the word utility. I know utility is the word that we use, but how about saying a product that's part of the blockchain, that's an essential part of the character of what life is like and moving forward. And this token is aimed behind that, right? And that's the value. What I really think we need to do with this, okay, this token is stop thinking of it as a token. I know it sounds weird, but follow me with this. Think of it as stocks, which is really what it is, right? I mean, if you're buying stocks, right? You're buying a portion of it. But if you were a private company with a product and you're putting it out and you're building it, if you think about Facebook, and they're, Meta, or I guess I should call them now, right? They are now putting this stuff out there. And then you have stockholders that place the value on the products being put out there. Well, most of the altcoins, meme coins have been based on hype. And that's it. They go, if their hype is running, they're good. A few have kept going. Obviously, you got to give props to, DOGE and SHIB, right? They got a hype, they kept a hype, and they created a brand. But that's not everybody, right? You have to have something behind it. And the ones that are long-term like this one have something behind it, right? And it's about building into the future of exactly what the world is going to be. We know that the world is turning into a virtual world. Those who know me, I'm doxed, which we're gonna get to. We're gonna get to what that means as we go through the show. But those who found me and found my USC press room, you go to press room USC, Joe Way, put in there, it looks all public. You'll see that one of my expertise is augmented reality, virtual reality, and instructional technologies, right? So this is what I do for a living. I have seen this happening and coming out, but then to see a token take this and bring it into a mainstream world and bring it into the blockchain is huge, okay? This is huge. I don't think people understand how big it is. Some of us are getting into it a little bit, right? We had a couple weeks back on the show, and Alex came on, and once you start seeing your kids doing this, and you start seeing a lot that's going on in the world, you go, oh, this is a different world than I'm used to. We are in a transformational phase. There are a lot, and again, I'm going to play a little bit of professor. No, I'll take my doctor title today. So I'm PhD. I can use my doctor title today. There is a lot of talk in anthropology. I know you came to the POODLCAST to learn about anthropology. I understand. About the greatest inventions throughout history. How will historians look back in this area, right? If you look back at our era, in 10,000 years, what will people say, or what will they look at the history of mankind? Already, they're saying that the internet is going to go down in history within the next 100,000 years as one of the three most important inventions of all time, with being fire, controlling fire, the wheel, and the internet. It's crazy to think it, especially when you open up your phone and you're using the internet to play, Candy Crush. But the fact is, if the internet went down today, one, you wouldn't have the POODLCAST, but and that would destroy all of humankind. I understand. If it went down, you couldn't do your banking. You couldn't have communications. You couldn't have all of those things that we've turned to rely on, right? Look at what happened when the pandemic happened. We've been able to thrive as a world. And in fact, cryptocurrency, virtual world took off due to the pandemic. It got mainstream because people were home and they recognized what's the one thing we have? We have the screen in front of us. I may not be able to reach out and touch someone next door or see my friends and my family. We have this screen. And that's the direction the world is going in. And that's why we saw a big pump like last March, right? We saw a lot of these meme coins kind of take off and how are we going to take advantage of this? And they're all dead, right? No one, hopefully, you're not falling for the crap. We're going to moon tomorrow. And this is our our fair launch is starting and no pre-launch, all this stuff. Hopefully none of you are falling for that stuff anymore. Hopefully you know how to do your own research, like Crypto Messiah said, like spend time, do research, find those things like Hunter has said. Find out the people behind it, find communities, find all this stuff. Hopefully that's how you're treating your tokens. And that's probably why you're listening to the show right now, because you've done that and it's brought you here. It's behind real people who actually believe in the value of technology, right? That's why we're here. Now, coming back around. The point of today actually came about. I'm answering a question that came up on the Academy. Someone had posted in there, what does it mean to renounce ownership? And there was some conversation that had started, and I thought, well, this is something that we really haven't talked about. And I think that it's still one of those things that's confusing because, yes, I know, and I'm kind of watching the chat over here. People who are new to crypto are still getting fooled by the games, right? Because we've talked about how there's only 3% of the world that even uses crypto. And so, therefore, when people are interested and they just go online and then maybe they take that step away from Coinbase or crypto.com and they go into the kind of the DeFi world, and they get their first, MetaMask or Trust Wallet, and they're out here in this, uncontrolled wild west of crypto. They don't know what to believe, right? They go on a Facebook group and they've heard about their friends who, I made so much money on this. And by the way, everyone only talks about when it goes up. They never talk about when it goes down. Okay. Don't believe half of what your friends say. This is always a long game. And so what happens then is they think, this is the one. I saw someone say this. And then I went to their Telegram. I went to their Twitter, and they have 58,000 followers. Wait a minute. So your first tweet was 8 hours ago, but you got 53,000 followers. That should be a red flag right there. A big one. And your website looks like it's still a WordPress template because it's, it basically still has ipsum lorem on half of every other paragraph. These are the things that are telltale signs, which we get into. We've talked a little bit about, and I'll do another one of those episodes coming down the road for new people. But one of the tactics that's used to make people believe and trust is about renounced ownership, where the wallets are and all that, and what it means. So I thought I would take an episode here, and honestly, it's probably going to take me 5 minutes, except that I get off topic all the time, to actually explain what it means. But I also want to talk about why it's important, right? So pretty much this, look, and I'm going to look to the chat if people want to add more to this, but basically, when they write a contract, okay, just so you know, it's actually not very difficult to release a coin. There's actually, places online you can go and give them a few $100 and they'll release a coin for you. They will copy and paste some code and launch it on the blockchain, and it lives on the Ethereum network or, Binance Smart Chain, and there you go. It's done. That's not actually the hard part. So what people talk about is, okay, who controls the token? Where is it? One of the popular things that you've been seeing going around is saying renounced ownership. Okay. There's a positive and a negative to it, right? A renounced ownership basically means, and you'll see people say this, that the admin team or the devs burned the keys. They have no way back into it. It's unchangeable. So what it's supposed to do is make you feel like they can't rug pull you. They can't go in, change the contract, pull all the money out, and then, bail on you, right? That's exactly, what they're saying, right? Is like, oh, well, if we throw away the keys, it's kind of like, we've taken a bank account and we've thrown away the debit card, so we can't pull it out on you. And so only the money you put in, you can take out. Well, first off, that's a lie. Now, okay, so what are the advantages? Let's talk about renounced ownership. And I've got a few things, a couple of just definitions here for everybody, and I really couldn't find a really great definition. But essentially, it means that. It means you're taking the contract, we're locking it down, we're taking the keys that we can no longer change how it works, right? And so therefore, we can't change it to steal your money. That's the basic principle behind renouncing ownership. And it sounds great, right? Especially if you're a new person and you're sitting there, oh, well, how do I know which one to trust? Well, they don't own it. They created it and they're letting the community do their thing. Great. Yes, 100% get it. And there's value behind that. Now, here's the problem with it. You don't need to be able to change a contract to rug it. Okay? All you need to be able to do is keep control of the money. And there is really two key ways that they do it. And there's probably more, but here's probably the two most popular. Okay? At some point they have to execute the contract, right? And when they execute the contract, get it active, and then usually toss the keys away, right? Kind of in that order. Well, you can write into the contract to send a percentage of the tokens to what you might be calling the burn file, or you might be calling the marketing wallet. Watch for the marketing wallet. That's one where they'll do it up front, right? See, Poodle has a marketing wallet that a percentage of every buy goes into our marketing wallet. So we contribute over time. But what they'll do is they'll say, no, the admins have nothing. But then all of a sudden they execute the contract and you'll see like top 5 wallets have like, 10 trillion each in them. And you're going, what the hell? Well, yeah, now I can close up the contract on that because I can just start selling those tokens, right? I don't need an active contract to change if I already own most of the tokens to start with. That's the first way they do it. Is they just write the way they're going to get out over time, right? And they planned it before they threw the keys away. Second way is, now I'm thinking of more ways actually they do it. Here's the other, is they might say, well, we're a fair launch. You'll see this, fair launch, which is great. Actually, I believe in a fair launch, all of that stuff. But here's the thing. The person who executes the contract, guess what? They know that it launched before you do, okay? And they might tell you, we're going to launch at 10 p.m. Eastern. So get ready with your money. Get your one BNB ready and in order to put in. Well, guess what? Maybe you don't see it on PancakeSwap at 10 o'clock. You see it at 10:01. Do you know why? Because they were buying all the tokens at 10 o'clock. And at 10:01, you got what's left over. Okay? And so already there's been a pump. So what they've been able to do is maybe they legitimately didn't pre-give themselves tokens. Maybe they legitimately bought them, but they bought them with 15 zeros available. And by the time you saw it a minute later, or when they went on their Telegram and typed in the contract for you to go, even it could have been 30 seconds later, they had 10 computers set up. You bought it with 7 or 8 zeros, 9 zeros, and you thought it was great. You're like, whoa, I'm in with 9 zeros. But guess what? They already ate 6 of them. They already own half the tokens. And here's what they'll do. They'll put on 10 or 12 different wallets so that it doesn't go to the top to look like it's one person that owns them all or a small dev team. They'll spread it across 60 or 70 wallets because all you got to do is open a bunch of browsers and keep hitting it before you give everyone else the contract address. As long as you know that you're only going to get it up so much, they can control half of it. And then you start buying, you pump the price up, it's your money. Then you know what they do? They do one of two things. They just sell it all at once, or they do what is commonly called, the slow rug. They take one wallet that you'll never know because it only has 100 billion in it or something, still a decent size, and they just sell it off 10 billion at a time over time. Then they take another one and they're selling that one off a little bit over time. And they're keeping it and they're telling you to go keep buying this. And so you keep feeding their rug pull. Okay? And they did this off of renouncing, telling you that it's rug proof, but they already knew how to beat the system. Right? And so this is where you want to be careful not to fall for someone who says, well, we've thrown away ownership. You have not thrown away ownership. Okay. Now, also what you want to recognize, there is a third way. And I said this before. Now, throwing away the keys does not mean that there isn't a backdoor in the code. Doesn't mean they haven't executed the code. Because I have a question for you. How many have actually been like Hunter Patterson, right? Big props to him. He actually opens the code. He looks into it. He, goes through, line by line, checking it out, looking for things. And that's why he's given the stamp of approval on Poodle, because we have nothing malicious in the code, right? I'm not a code reader. I trusted the team, which we're going to get to trusting the team in a minute. But you can just write in the code before you throw the keys away that you can pull the rug on it, right? That's really not very difficult to do. You can make it so that either you get extra tokens, or if the burn tokens get sent to a wallet, and maybe at that wallet you actually have control over, so that as people saying, oh yeah, we burn 10% with every transaction. Oh, you mean you're giving the dev 10% at every transaction? Because do you really know where that's going? Is it really going to a burn folder? Well, we know. You look at Poodle, you see that. It's common. We've had people look at our code and give us that stamp of approval. I keep thinking of other ways that this works, that they could do this. But besides all the malicious, the last way, I know I said 2 and now I'm up to 4. The fourth way that you can renounce ownership and still do a rug is the liquidity, right? Locked liquidity. Now, locked liquidity is important, right? Now, especially when they first fund it and you lock it, and we want that, and that's important. But there's 2 things. Remember, if they're already taking tokens, they're pulling out anyway, right? They're pulling this out of your investment, right? Excuse me. Now, the other thing that you can do is how long are they locking it for? Or are they delaying locking? This is what you'll see. Because remember, I've told you this before. I kind of fell for this early on too. And I thought, well, maybe there's the next one. And I actually tried, and I put like money in like 10 different ones. I just to see right at launch and it was a small amount, but I wanted to see, are they rugs or are they real? They were all rugs. I think one actually turned out to be decent. And I'm selling it and buying more Poodle with it. But nonetheless, I think it was like a 1 out of 10 that ended up paying off. And so the thing is they will either delay locking liquidity. They're coming on their Telegram. Oh, sorry. Something's held up. Something in the code, or Pancake Swap's not letting us do it. Keep buying, everyone. Keep buying. And they're waiting for this thing to pump, and then they never lock it, and they steal that money, or they hope that you go to bed, because they probably launch it at 10 o'clock at night or 2 a.m. And when you're ready to go to bed, and you just trust they're going to do it, by the time you wake up, you got no money left. Or the liquidity is locked for just a really short amount of time. You'll see a lot of times it's 1 year lock. Or I saw one that said that we're going to lock it for 3 months because they had such an aggressive way that things go into the liquidity that's all they needed. And I was like, wow. Okay, then. And that one I did not go into. And so what happens then, and as Sasha put it here, they lock it for 100K, and then they'll take out $1 million over time. Well, they care about the 100K that they put in because they're taking all their tokens and doing their slow rug, right? They're pulling it out. And so you got to look at this. They're looking at their total investment, their total profit and loss. I already told you that they can launch tokens left and right all they want to. It doesn't matter if they put an investment of, $50,000, $100,000 to make it look right, if they already know that they've got $1 million stored up to steal from you, right? And so, and again, locked liquidity, this was an issue. At some point, liquidity does unlock, right? And if you throw away control, you can't relock it without all the money. And this is why we, as a token, went from version 1 to version 2. So anyone who was around needs to give a big round of applause that we exist because we saved the rug. The old V1 people, we could not relock the liquidity. When we recognized that couldn't happen, we quickly created version 2 over on Binance Smart Chain, in order to save people money and did a free airdrop so no one lost any money. Took all that, put it in, locked the liquidity here for 5 years, not a short amount of time. Literally, everybody who was part of that dev team will not see their money again for 5 years. You got free tokens on an airdrop. They locked up their money for 5 years. If that does not give props to the people behind this who cared more about your investment, when it would have been really easy for them just to take their money and then go to another project. But instead, because they probably knew where they could lock it before anybody else, they didn't have to come to us and say, hey, we've got another plan to save this. They could have just said, hey, you know what? We're not going to be able to relock it. Well, everyone, we're going to take our money and we're going to bail. They didn't. If that does not build trust, if it does not build that the people behind this believe in this community and believe in what we can achieve, I don't know what else does. I don't know. I remember being there. I put my faith in it. I believed them. But there's a lot of bad actors out there. They could have been lying, but look, they weren't. Look at where we're at. Look at what's being developed. And education, right back to the academy, an educational platform to teach people about this. I wouldn't even be here trying to help you if it weren't for what they did back then in saving us through that rug. And that was a planned one. They knew exactly when liquidity would come out. That person too could have said, so because we couldn't get control of the contract to change the contract to extend it. You know, they could have relocked it if they wanted to. They could have put their own, but they didn't. They had the whole plan of rugging you later, right? And thankfully we saved that, and I had nothing to do with it. I was one of the grateful ones that got my tokens dropped to me. And I'm very thankful. And now I'm here and really invested in making this community strong. So that was one side of it. That was renouncing it. So look at all the bad things that can happen by renouncing it. Now, renouncing it can be good. Let's look at one of the positive, I guess, of locking it is then you know it, right? If it can't change, you can be 100 comfortable. It's kind of like, good or bad. Remember back in the days where you couldn't change the rules of baseball, right? They are what they are. And you had to play within that framework and you made it work. Now, but remember, there was a time where baseball recognized we had to change. We had to be able to change the rules, to adapt a little bit. Same thing. Think about football. We've had to change the rules a little bit. This is where not renouncing. So what is the reason to not renounce? Basically, the owners, the devs are going to say they're not burning the key. We already talked about it's already fake anyway and all this stuff. And if they really want to do something malicious, they could have done it before. So why keep it? Well, this is it. Why keep it is because you look at the term of the project. You keep control, and then you lock for 5 years, which is telling you we have a 5-year business plan. We don't think that this is going to necessarily, moon on day one. Do we all want it to? Is it going to happen at some point? Could it happen tomorrow? Absolutely. But we believe in delivering product. We believe in bringing you, the utility behind how we can change things. So therefore, what you see is that by not renouncing gives you the ability to go in and change the contract. We've actually seen it happen already with community voting, right? If those of you who remember, I know we have a lot of new people on, but there were some before where we went through a time where we were, I think there was kind of like when SafeMoon was sort of taken off. And we're like, do we need to be more like them? How do we have to do our tokenomics? So we changed from 2%, if you remember, and gosh, I can barely remember, but I think we were at 2%, and then we changed it to 10%. That changed the distribution, changed the burn, thinking it would stop people from selling. And it didn't really do what we thought. Again, it was early on. Everyone's trying to figure out the tokenomics. There were tokens coming out with like 30% tokenomics with 10% burn and distribution. There's so much going on. It was like, okay, where's the sweet spot? And we did a community vote in order to change that. Well, if we'd have not had control of the contract, we couldn't have done that, right? We couldn't have adapted. And then, more importantly, we couldn't have adapted it back. This is where we settled in on 3%. And now where we have the 1% burn, 1% redistribution, then we have the 1% that goes to the marketing and the charity and the liquidity, right? So now we've been able to change it. Before we weren't giving into those. So we were able to now put in and build our marketing wallet over time, right? We didn't need to fake a marketing wallet. We were able to burn a marketing wallet that now, based on how much we do, how much activity, we can continue to market more. Guess what? That's how businesses work in life. And then we got the same thing with adding to the liquidity. We strengthen the value of our investment with every single purchase and every single sell. That is built into it. We could not have done that had the keys got thrown away, right? Now, this is where now you have to understand the advantage of it is if you're a long-term project, you can adapt with the times. We could adapt as we need to. I don't know how we would need to adapt. I think we got a good thing going, but there might be. It's allowing us to have a community vote as a true community token to decide the direction we go together. What I like to think of it now is the most important part, and this has been said on many POODLcasts. We've seen it before. I think it just came across the chat. You are not buying, the token. You're buying the team. You're buying the trust behind it. You're buying the purpose of it, right? You're buying the community of it. We are a community that is together believing in one thing, and that's what we're doing, bringing this app, bringing the NFTs, bringing an educational side together to build the community of crypto, because we're not necessarily looking at snagging the money from the 3% of people who are already in crypto. Yes, more likely ones that are going to invest. Yes, blah, blah, blah. But more educating the 97% of the world that's not in crypto yet by getting them educated, giving them a safe place to come in and be on the cutting edge of technology. That's who we are. That's huge, okay? You are investing in that. That's why we need to adapt. I don't know if we're ever going to need to, if we're going to need to change the contract. I don't know. And actually, I don't know. I don't know anyway. I'm just another person like you who does a podcast. I don't have any other insider information. But which is what makes it fun. See, I can do it today because I got to learn about the Academy over the last week, just like you all. But there could be. Technology could change. The world will change. Maybe there's some other thing that gets invented. We weren't talking about liquidity and marketing, and we always talk about burn and redistribution. Maybe there could be another area, charity, right, that we would need to expand over time. I don't know, but we still keep that ability to adapt and to change and to allow the token to go. Various areas. If you think, at traditional stocks, right? Think about if you have a traditional stock, they're built with the ability to do like, stock splits, things like that, redistribution. That's built into a stock, into the rules of the game in normal finances, because you have to be able to adapt with your owners, right? These are things that we can do, and that gives us that ability behind our community to focus. Right now, we're focused on getting product out, creating volume, which creates redistribution, which creates burn, which raises the price, right? We're following a very traditional method, but always aware of the direction we're moving and making sure the community is safe along the way. So here's where it's important. The Telegram group, the people behind it. I've said this before, and I think I said it just a few weeks ago. I would not be this involved in a token that I couldn't have my daughter, my wife, listen to this show, go to the Telegram, meet everybody in there, and then come to me and go, wait, you hang out with those people? Who are you, Dad? I'm embarrassed to that person. I want my family, my friends to be proud of what we're doing. Do I want us to moon? Do I want to go 1,000x? Absolutely. Does this token have room to go 1,000x? Well, yeah. But there's no reason we can't be the next SHIB. They're not doing anything we're not doing. In fact, we're doing more, right? For us to get to where SHIB is right now, we have to do 3,000x or 35. So 1,000x from right now, something along those lines. If there people are talking about them getting to, we literally could do 2,000x and be there. So take what you've got, double the first number and add 3 zeros at the end, and that's your value. We can do that in just months. I'm not trying to turn this into a hype or a to the moon, but we have the product out. We have eyes on us. We have the right direction. And as soon as the product is out and the app is out, we're going to continue to have more vision. I know it's a scratchy voice today, so hold on. All right. Hopefully that didn't come across too loud. So the key is get involved. Get involved with the Telegram. Get involved with the people. Share your knowledge and grow. Give however you can. And I don't mean like give to our charity. Absolutely. But give your knowledge. Give your humanity. I loved watching how we helped a new investor this last week on the Academy buy for the first time. It was really awesome taking him through that process. And that's who we are. Remember that we are not about the 3% who already know about crypto. We're about the 97% who don't know about it. We are about making cryptocurrency, our utility, the metaverse, the AR, the apping world, all of these gamings, about all of the education, be the definition of us. Think of the value of the token just like any other stock. It is the stock behind the purpose, the stock behind the community. It is valuing the community. If you value our people, and that's what people who will come into us are going to be attracted to. They're going to look at us. They're going to the people that we are and our character. We've talked about this. Go to half the other telegrams out there. And yes, there are some legit ones. Go to half the other ones. And you will just see how awful they are. The sexism, the racism, the language. And then here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to one of those, open up your phone, leave it on the counter, and go look and go have your 6-year-old daughter go read it for a day. If you would be proud of your child, your mother, your family reading the telegram of that token, then maybe it's a good one to invest in. Is there purpose behind it? Is everything only about we're going to moon? If the only thing you can talk about is mooning, and it's fun. All right, we love the memes. We've talked about it. We're a meme token. I love the games. They still make us laugh, right? But if that's the substance, if the substance of what you've got is just making I know I made the little comment earlier, all I want for Christmas is a green candle. But if that's all we had, get out. Get out of any token. That's all they have. But we're talking about bigger things. We're showing the bigger things. You've seen the teasers. The apps are ready to go. They're being submitted. They are going to come out soon. We are meeting exactly what the roadmap says. That's another key, right? Is if you look at a roadmap, are they keeping it now? What I think is sometimes I criticize. Sorry, everybody. I criticize this. That our website's not always up to date, but it's because the team's so busy actually coming out with the things that they don't have time to go update the roadmap, right? And so we have to recognize, of course, I know new people come in, they're looking at the website, and we want to do that, keep it up to date for that. But we're so busy releasing the promises and meeting the promises and doing things for our charity that we don't have time to do the small thing, the things of those. So look at the roadmap, though. The roadmap is always up to date. And if we're meeting those things and the token is meeting that, then we're doing it all. And that's where I can say, here's how I want to give everybody a couple of takeaways for this week. There's a couple of things to do. First off, I talked about giving Poodle to your family for presents. You've got 3 days till Christmas. Go open up a wallet for them, throw them, 100 million Poodle in there. Teach them, send them to the Academy, show them how this works. This is the perfect time. You realize every single one of you out there just gets one extra person, a family member or friend to join in. We double our holders overnight. We can do this. So that's what you're going to do. Get in the telegrams, get in the Academy, learn. I want you to do my call for you. Do 2 things. 1, 3, buy more, of course. But share your knowledge and gain some knowledge. Share your knowledge, gain some knowledge. Go to the Academy and learn. Look at the, /filters. You will see all these things, right? That's why this about how to renouncing ownership and what it means and what's the value is as we learn, Poodle's better off by not having renounced ownership, because we can change, we can adapt, we have a team we can trust behind us. That's all you need. The rest of it's all smoke that people try to use to scam you, and we're not that way. Next, as you learn, so go to the academy, find something you haven't learned, or sit on it for a while, and then go to the main Telegram or the academy and share knowledge. Share either something that people need to know about, or share your experience. I'll tell you that, I'm not ashamed on this podcast to say how this token has impacted me personally. What you all did is I went through my house fire, and how you all got behind me as a poodle family, and we went through the journey, and you were my escape, and how you helped me learn about crypto. And I've never felt, like I said, that's the reason that I joke every week that this is my therapy session, because I really feel like I'm sitting down with a true crypto family that I'm proud to be part of, and I love it. And so that's what I want you to do. Share your story, because somebody's going through it. Share it with our community. Let our community know what they've done for you. Give back to our community. Share your knowledge. Learn some knowledge. Then, side note, when you're with your family, share this year. Share about crypto. Say a few comments. Tell them about Poodle. Help them open a wallet. They can open their phone and download MetaMask and create a wallet, or trust wallet and create it. Yeah, there's other things they have to do to be able to get money into it. But you know what? Technically, they don't even need to go outside. Here's the thing. Open up Trust Wallet. Have it create them a wallet. Add in BNB. Click the top button. Click buy. I think it opens up MoonPay or one of the other ones. Simplix or whatever it is. Have them put in a credit card or debit card. Show them how to open up Pancake Swap and swap that right over for some Poodle. You could actually teach them without them having to worry about all the other things, right? We can do this. We can grow this family. Oh, Mama, love you too. Loving the chats. I'm getting all emotional here. No, because this has just been fantastic. This journey, I can't believe we're coming into the new year. So, yeah, that's your goal. Learn something, share something, share with others. Buy more. We see the pump happening right now. I think the pumps happen on Wednesdays because it's me. I'm just telling you. No coincidence. Pumps and the show seem to go together. No, I'm just kidding, everyone. So that being said, I want everyone, if you celebrate Christmas, have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. I encourage you to go in and, educate people, show them how to take their money, how to invest in Poodle, how to invest in our token. Send them. The best part is, and I know Sasha here, you can teach them how to buy, be even better. Do this. Create the wallet. Have them open it on their phone. Show them how to bring it in. Give them their 12-word code. And then what you do, you open up your phone and you send it to them and you watch it go right into their account. Tell you that's not a great gift. I might actually do that too. I'm loving it. So that being said, I'm going into the part of the show where I just kind of seem to go keep talking. We are going for, oh my God, I'm on 44 minutes. Okay. So that being said, everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. Have a great week with your families. We are here next week between Christmas and New Year's. We might do guests. I was thinking, all right, tell me what y'all think. I was thinking of just doing an open party. Open up a Zoom room, having people come in. We all bring a cocktail. You keep your cameras off, and we do Christmas party, social hour, Happy New Year's for next week's show. I think that would be a great one. I don't know if anyone will show up. Definitely the people at least on the chat might. That might be fun. Kind of like a voice chat, except it's on it's on our live show. So anyway, that's an idea. I don't know. I'll throw it in the Telegram. We'll see how it goes. It may be a horrific idea. that being said, I'm actually really enjoyed the show. Thank you all. Hopefully I made Renounce to Not Renounce, who owns a community token. Our community does. Hopefully that this made some sense today. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Care about you all. Have a great week. Merry Christmas to you all.